Please, 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 please.
No.
Just imagine how cool it'll be.
Okay.
Yes!
So as you'll have seen from the thumbnail, obviously, I'm planning on doing a Deadblow sword. I don't know if it'll work very well, but we'll find out if we make it, won't we? If you watched my whip sword video, you know exactly how this is going. I'm going to file this down, get it all sweet and tight, ready to lay some pipe in there. I also need to deburr these edges. Now I've flattened it all out and made it all delightful and chamfered the edges ready to weld it, I need to get the tube to insert it inside this slot. And also I want to mark out this round curvature so I can notch the tube. Oh, hi there. I'm just cleaning this off. I've just Scotch-Brited it all and made it all shiny. And I'm going to weld it after. Welded all around the outside of that, obviously, because you watched me do it. But now I need to lay some more welds on there. I'm not going to film it because it'll go exactly the same way as it did there. But what I plan to do is put a steep weld to arch that. So it'll make the blade look fatter rather than just having a fat tube in the middle. And then obviously the core will still be the core. So I'm going to do that now. You can go to sleep, and the next time you see me, this will have loads of weld on it. And I'll have loads of weld burns all over my body. That's all welded up and it looks like bird shit, but it's absolutely scorching hot, so I'm going to put it in this grass stuff. It's cooled out. That'll cool it slowly to take out the stress. I'm going to sleep in this tonight. Before I start shaping this guy up, I need to cut it down because it isn't going to fit in my kiln at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it to the back to the furthest depth, mark it, then cut it, and then I can start putting some shapes so it looks more like a sword and less like metal welded together. That's now the basic shape. So now, it's going to take me 5 million years to flatten all these off. If I'd known I was going to go with this shape originally, I want to put as much weld on there. I'd just probably put a little bead on there. But, however, rather than starting again, I shall go on forward and march on. I know I've not cut this yet, but I plan on cutting this after I've flattened all this, so I've got something to hold on to. Got it cleaned up as best I could. I'll clean it up a bit more after it's been heat treated, but now I need to cut it so it fits in the oven. Then I can heat treat it with heat. While that is heating in the heating box, I need to design the slot-in handle portion of this blade. So I've got a spare bit of tube, which is hollow, obviously because it's tube and not bar, which is the same size as what I've got on the blade. I've also got some hollow tube, which is going to make the handle portion, some threaded rod, and then a threaded insert. And now I'll weld this little slot. That part is now welded together, obviously, because you can see that with your eyes, and you saw me do it with your eyes as well, if you've got eyes. So now, the next part is, I need to build some wedges for either side so it'll slot in like a little key in a hole. I've got the handle key all finished up now, as you can see. And it fits in there nicely. And what I'll be doing is welding on the inside of there and there to affix that to it. And now what I need to do is design the guard for this guy. So I guess I'll go design that and plan it out in my head, obviously. That's now cooled down after the main heat treat, and now it needs to go in for a temper. And this is going to run 2 temper cycles at 1 hour each. I'll take it out after the first hour, leave it to cool down, put it back in and do another cycle. So let's get on with the handle. Right, so it's been what seems like 2 hours, because it actually was 2 hours. I've decided that this is going to be the guard. I'm going to put some brass on top of there. I'm going to glue that on. And then this is going to be the handle. Both of these are red lacewood, I think. So let us continue with this by gluing this onto this. Before I shape this up, I need to drill the hole in the middle to make sure that everything's got a hole in it and central. So let's put it on this guy. Fucker. The metal lathe then. As you can see, I've put the pins in there and glued it and sanded it all. So that'll need shaping up. I forgot to press record, obviously. And I went to the dentist and my face was all like I'd had a stroke. I thought I'd wait until it better speak to you all. Now I need to go and shape the handle up. I'm thinking of tapering it so it'll be wider at the top and not as wide at the bottom. Shallower, less rounder at the bottom. And then I also need to cut the brass ring for there, but I need to flatten this off first so it'll sit nicely. the handle shaped and ready to go. Now what I need to do is make a little brass washer for up here. I've already cut the circle of brass out, but now I need to cut a 25mm hole there so that it'll sit on this little ledge nicely. So it's time to use this Abrax bit to try and drill that. Let's hope it goes right. That's now nice and shiny, like a shiny nice thing. And it fits on there perfectly. So what I need to do now is transfer this size over to the guard. So the same as I did with the handle to fit it onto the threaded rod, I've got a little collar there which sits over the threaded rod, and it's the perfect size for there. And then I'll bolt it in so I can put it on the lathe. But first, I need to mark it. That's now the guard roughly shaped up on the base. I need to form these sides and give it a bit more of a flowing shape rather than square. But what I wanted to do first was test this little guy and slot it in there, because I've just drilled this one out. And that will sit in there nicely. Now I've marked out the centres, I'm going to go grind this. That's now cleaned up to 500. I still need to sort the top out, but now it's time to start on the blade because it's cooled down. Off camera I squared the top of this up with some sandpaper, and now I need to slot this guy in. But I can't just slot it in, I need to make sure it's square, otherwise the handle will be like, you know. So what I'm thinking is, I'm going to put these squares on here, clamp it with a square, and then try and get some weld in the schmir just a little bit, and then I can take the clamps off, but at least I'll know it's square. So let's go weld it. Now I need to clean this guy, and then I can sharpen it. That's that done now, I guess. Well, it is done, because you just saw me do it. And now the brass has arrived for the pommel. So now it's time to start the pommel, which will be fun and lots of work. But let's do it. That is now all complete and ready to put together, so you're anticipating the gluing montage. But I'm thinking about blackening the blade, so I'm going to blacken it, and if I don't like it, I'm going to wipe it off and reshoot this bit. It's all ready to go. The gluing montage is about to begin. But I've got some threaded rod I'm going to put in here because I want to be able to take it off and on. So this will stop the glue from seeping inside there. Now let's begin the gluing montage. Usually, if I've got a screw pommel, I can just glue it together and use this as a clamp, but I want to be able to take this off. So what I've done is I've put some wax on here and on here so I can screw it in, and then I can remove it without the glue sticking to it, and then I can wipe everything down.